Okay, so we had a pretty terrifying week.
Yeah. I have new pajamas.
Yes, that's what we're going to take from all of this, is April has new pajamas.
Yes. You can always see the corner of my face. I'm so mysterious.
So one of the reasons why we started this channel was to bring awareness to the reality of Tourette. What most people know about Tourette is what's shown in the media. It's reserved for comic relief, or it's a punchline. And the simple reality of that is
It's not.
It
really isn't. It's not funny.
Tourette's runs a spectrum. So you can have someone with the same diagnosis, but they have very simple tics. They have, to be diagnosed with Tourette's, you have to be diagnosed with Tourette's, you have to have a vocal and motor tics for both, for over a year, for a year or more.
Which I have. Yes,
April met that requirement for diagnosis easily.
Yes.
So when she was diagnosed, it's okay. When she was diagnosed, the neurologist gave us a prescription for a medication. We finally got to the point where April's tics were so severe that we broke down and figured we'd give it a go. What's the worst that could happen, right? Some pretty bad stuff really did happen. She was on the medicine for 1 month and 1 day. We were having a difficult time for the past week leading up to this, but honestly, nothing too bad. When Tuesday came along, she suddenly had what I would describe as a manic episode where she became so anxious that she literally curled up into a ball and cried. And she was terrified of anything and everything. Wednesday, we were having a pretty difficult day.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. And a friend recommended that we call her neurologist and let him know. He told us to stop the medication immediately, and that if anything was out of the ordinary or if anything escalated, to go directly to the emergency room. Yes, my love.
This is not me being angry, it's a tic.
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to inform the viewers because they might not understand. They might think I'm mad, but no.
Yeah.
It's just a tic.
Yeah. Sometimes your face does things that you don't necessarily mean for it to do. Super
Daddy's
fun.
here.
Daddy's home.
Daddy!
Um, so,
And that's not me being mean, it's a tic too.
yeah, that's a tic. This is what I'm saying
I would
whenever...
never do that unless it was a tic.
That's what I'm saying. Tics can be very simple, or they can be very complex.
That is very complex.
April's tics have a tendency to be fairly
The thing is,
complex.
tics start off simple. They work their way up. They basically evolve.
Yeah.
They don't stay the same forever.
So the neurologist had told us to stop the medication, and if anything out of the ordinary happened, or things escalated to go directly to the emergency room.
Which we did.
We did. April went into a very complex tic that she could not pull herself out of. She was not able to verbally communicate. The best description that I have heard of someone who has seen a video of what we were experiencing was that by the time we got to the hospital, it's okay.
You deserve a nice long big
Thank you. By the time we got to the hospital, it was like she was a feral child.
I'm really good at behaving. I'm really well behaved, I promise.
Yeah.
I'm nice, I promise.
She is. She's very nice. So because of the things that had happened, both at the emergency room and prior to us getting there, the recommendation was for her to be admitted to a pediatric psych unit or a mental health unit, because there was a concern that she may do something that could harm herself.
Which I didn't for the rest of the time.
Yeah, once the medication started getting out of her system, she started coming back to us, but too little too late.
It was too
So we were transferred to a mental health facility. She got to ride an ambulance.
Yep, that was fun.
And we were told that she would have to be there for 72 hours. She was not held for 72 hours because once she was there and she had, talked to some of the therapists, I had talked to some of the therapists, they realized pretty quickly that it wasn't her talking, it was the medication talking. But here's the thing, here's the scary thing. This was the medication that was recommended by our neurologist. It was the medication that he said was the safest. I mean, I've seen comments from everything, singing its praises, to children having an even worse reaction than April had. Now that the medicine is getting out of her system,
I'm myself again.
Yes, she's back to being our sweet girl. The tics are getting more frequent and stronger again.
But who cares?
Because they had been suppressed a little bit with the medication. However,
the medication was evil.
I would much rather have her ticking and be our beautiful sweet girl than what we just experienced. That was scary. And
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm just happy to have her home. And I'm glad that we're past the worst of it. Now we just need to find
common ground.
Yeah, now we just need to find a balance. We need to see what we can find out that can help. But this is the reality of Tourette's. Tourette's is complex. Tourette's is not a punchline. Tourette's is not simple. Tourette's is...
See, now I have the gray box.
Tourette's is a mess, is what it is. You're a mess. Oh goodness. Do you want to tell them what we say at the end?
Yes.
What do we say at the end, Butter?
Love, hugs, and belly rubs.
Love, hugs, and belly rubs.
Bye.
Bye.
Ooh, no, I have the white box.
You always said a white box.
No, I had the gray box before.
Oh, okay.
I'm a star now.
Oh, gee, thank you. So we said that to say this.